going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Hump Day settings. Yes, it is Wednesday. Pinch punch, end of the month. It's the end of July, and there is so much going on this morning. That's why I'm a little bit late, because just in the last couple of minutes, we've got updates on Wan-Bissaka, more details on Obi Martin. We got the Here We Go last night regarding that. A bit of an update when it comes to Leny Yoro and his fitness, and when we're going to get an update on his injury. Of course, he's been spotted on crutches last night. That's just in the last couple of minutes. That was separate from the show that we had planned. So there is so much going on this morning. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We are going to be talking about Scott McTominay. A bid possibly has gone in for him from Turkey, from Galatasaray. Seemingly it has been rejected by Manchester United, but there could be more on the horizon. As I mentioned, Obi Martin, we got a Here We Go on him last night, a top academy rated prospect, and also another academy signing last night too. It was a busy day for Manchester United. Bit of an update on Rabiot from maybe not some super credible sources, but certainly there is a lot of discussion surrounding him. As mentioned, possibly a bit of an update on Leny Yoro, and also a bit of an update when it comes to Wan-Bissaka. As I spoke about this yesterday, it does look like this move is going to happen, even though sort of 10 days ago it was reported that Wan-Bissaka had rejected West Ham. Looks like now that is not going to be the case. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved in the chat. I can see Nessie's in there, says good morning. Mark says good morning. JB says late view, poor. Oh, I was getting all the news together. It's been crazy. It's all in the literally last 10 minutes. It's all been going off with all of this stuff. My goodness me, we're trying to stay on top of all of it. So actually, before we get into the McTominay stuff, I'll just start with this Wan-Bissaka stuff, because it's not totally really different from what we had heard yesterday, but there's a little bit of an update, and it's coming from Damesh Chef of Sky Sports. He is saying, just in the last few minutes, that Manchester United right back Wan-Bissaka could be on his way out, because West Ham are close to agreeing a deal with Manchester United for the signing of right back Wan-Bissaka. In fact, this is nearly done in terms of the club-to-club talks. He says that many aspects of the deal are agreed in principle, but there is work to do on a final fee and structure, though there is a degree of confidence that a compromise can be reached on a gap in valuation. So maybe some of those reports yesterday from sort of West Ham insiders or insider accounts on social media, maybe a bit far the mark when it comes to all of this discussion about, you know, oh, it's done, the whole thing's done, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that was a bit wide of the mark, but certainly a deal is very, very close to being done here. And of course, once this deal is done, that means immediately Manchester United will go for Mazraoui, and that deal will get done very quickly too. So it looks like, as I spoke about yesterday, this Wan-Bissaka exit is going to happen. The deal is very, very close. I mean, I suppose there are two parts of this. Yes, Manchester United and West Ham could agree a fee and a structure, but the question is, as I mentioned previously, not so long ago, it's reported that he had rejected West Ham. He wanted to go to Inter Milan. What would the difference be? How have they been able to convince him? What's been going on with that? So that's certainly going to be very interesting. As far as Mazraoui, just a little bit of an update here. This is always the fun of when you go live in transfer season. Anything can happen. So Florian Plettenberg has just tweeted in the last, again, 2 minutes, talking about two targets of Manchester United in Ligt and Mazraoui, particularly when it comes to what they're going to be doing on pre-season. Are they going to be involved in Bayern Munich's pre-season? Are they excluded? What's going on? Florian Plettenberg has just tweeted that Ligt will not be on board today when FC Bayern departs for Seoul in South Korea at 4:30 p.m. As reported, he is set to return to Bayern on August 2nd. So that's in a couple of days' time, of course. He was in the latter stage of the Euros with the Netherlands. Didn't play, but he was with the squad. Mazraoui, on the other hand, is supposed, and he says supposed to accompany the team on their trip. FC Bayern remain in contact with Manchester United to find an agreement, ideally for both players. Now, again, I think the key word there is supposed, because given the speed of which this Wan-Bissaka deal is happening now, given that there is a again, confidence that a deal can be reached between all parties, that might mean that Mazraoui's reservation on that plane to Korea, they go, maybe you stay behind, maybe you don't go. So the next 24 hours, I guess, when it comes to all of that, will be very, very, very important. So that's the latest when it comes just to Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Mazraoui. And then, of course, when it comes to Ligt, it looks like Lindelof's going to be quite heavily involved in that deal about the ability to move him on. Haven't heard that much about Lindelof and an exit just yet, have we? But that could be coming pretty soon. So, as I mentioned, that's the latest when it comes to Wan-Bissaka. Don't be shocked, I think, if we get a report possibly as soon as later today suggesting that a deal has been reached between both of the clubs. As far as the player and West Ham, well, those sort of insider accounts yesterday said that wasn't a problem, but you never know with those insider accounts, do you? So, as Fabrizio Romano said a couple of days ago, this is going to be a busy week, I think, for Manchester United. A big week because things are going to happen very, very quickly indeed. So, yes, that's the latest with Wan-Bissaka. We've already got nearly 700 people through the door, which is fantastic. As I mentioned, it's going to be a really busy morning, busy day. Of course, it's match day, technically, today as well. We've got a match, 3 a.m. kickoff, yes, in San Diego, Snapdragon Arena. It is Manchester United versus Real Betis. You can see it right there on the right-hand side of the screen. I'll be live tonight, 1 a.m. as always, and we're always, you know how we do it here at United View. We're always live 2 hours before kickoff with all of the build-up, all of the news, all of the transfer stories, press conferences, quotes, clips, previews, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to be live 1 a.m. This morning for that game. Kickoff's going to be at 3, so get your alarms ready. Well, that depends where you are, of course, in the world. That might be a really, actually, good time for you, but actually this is great. This is my time zone. But if you're not in that time zone, set your alarms, get ready, make sure you got notifications turned on. You'll be notified when we go live later on today. So I'm looking forward to that. Always love a late night stream. Always a lot of fun indeed, isn't it? So yes, that's the latest when it comes to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Right, shall we talk about Scott McTominay? There's a lot going on with Scott McTominay. Of course, McTominay holds the key, seemingly, to possibly Ugarte coming in. Now, we had heard reports and rumours about, a permanent deal, a loan deal, etc. There's, a lot going on with Ugarte. Personal terms, of course, have been agreed. It's just a case of finding out what that deal can actually look like. And McTominay may hold the key for all of this, of course. So there had been reports yesterday, quite a few reports yesterday, regarding a McTominay move to Turkey. This is really interesting. So this came from quite a big journalist in Turkey, Ali Nasi Kukuk, I think maybe you would say that, probably completely butchered the name, has said that Galatasaray have allocated a budget of 15 to 20 million euros for the transfer of the midfielder. The top name at the list is Scott McTominay. Galatasaray have submitted an offer of 15 million euros for to Manchester United. Manchester United, on the other hand, wanted 30 million euros. If Manchester United don't get the offers they want, they could leave McTominay to Galatasaray for 20 million euros. Let me remind you, Galatasaray signed Mauro Icardi in September, basically suggesting that, the Turkish window shuts later, doesn't it, than the rest of the European window. Some more stuff coming out of Turkey last night suggested that Galatasaray had even reached an agreement on personal terms with Scott McTominay. They've convinced the player to move to Turkey. Negotiations continue between Galatasaray and Manchester United. Again, take it with a pinch of salt, I would think. Take it with a pinch of salt, that one. More reports in Turkey saying that McTominay had agreed personal terms with Galatasaray on a contract worth 5.5 million euro per year. Negotiations have been ongoing with Manchester United for a long time. Erik ten Hag's decision will be one of the most decisive points for the deal. Look, could McTominay go to Turkey? Of course he could. Of course that can happen. It would have to be more than 15 million euros, wouldn't it? It would have to be more than 15 million euros. That's what in pounds, that's what, 12 million quid, something like that. Manchester United are not going to sell Scott McTominay for 12 million pounds. It's just not going to happen in a million years. We had spoken previously, hadn't we? I mean, let me know in the chat how much you would value McTominay and be genuine about this, because whenever stuff like this gets brought up, people will go, oh,
no, wait a minute.
They go, he's worth 5 million. He should go on a free. And then you go, well,
hold on, wait a minute.
You know, in reality, Scott McTominay is, I'd say, minimum sort of 25 plus add-ons to like sort of 30. You know, that kind of number. He is an academy player, so it's pure profit. On top of that, he does score goals, and I understand that people go, there's more to it than that, Owen. It's more than scoring goals. I get it. I get it. But there is this sort of downplaying, isn't it? There's this downplaying of it. And also, this is the annoying thing with transfers, isn't it? Is that if it's a Premier League club, that's why when that report came out suggesting that Fulham had bid, what was it, like 16 million for Scott McTominay? You went, seriously? 16 million.
What the fuck are you talking about?
16 million. And you're willing to pay, how much are they paying for Smith Rowe? And I understand different, you know, more of a forward player, younger, blah, blah, blah. But you want a player that's been injured for like a year and a half, 2 years. And you've got McTominay who's consistently available and does score goals.
Poor. And I mean poor.
Really? That's what you want to do?
Huh?
Really? That's what you want to do? But of course, when it's outside of the Premier League, it's completely different. It's completely different because I don't necessarily blame Galatasaray in the sense of they don't have a lot of money. You know, the suggestion there was that they might go up to 20 million euros, but that could be legitimately like the highest that they can go up to. Now, there had been reports again that Fulham were going to go back in with another bid. They're very active in this transfer market, aren't they? Getting Smith Rowe, they've re-signed Sessegnon on a free. Who else have they signed? I think they're signing someone else, aren't they? So they got that Paulinho money, which looks like they've sort of plunged straight into the Smith Rowe deal. But I think that I think that Manchester United. This is the funny thing with like, you know, with Man United fans, isn't it? It's like, we should get rid of these players, sell these players, even on a free if it need be. Then it's like, well, there's possibly sort of 12 million McTominay Galatasaray. That's not enough. That's not enough. You got to get yourself the right deal, don't you? You have to get yourself the right deal and the fair deal. Just because we are desperate, and we are, and I know people have wanted McTominay to go for several years, it still doesn't mean that we just, we can't get the best deal for us. No. I think that, again, for me, it's minimum 25 plus add-ons. It has to be, because as much as he does get criticised, and this isn't me, McTominay should be starting every single week. We've been in that reality where Scott McTominay's a starter every single week in defensive midfield alongside Fred, remember? We've lived in that reality. He's not good enough to be a Manchester United starter. Of course he's not. He found really his role at United last season, which is, it's like he's Scottish Fellaini, isn't he? Really, which is, hey, we need a goal, bring on McTominay. And I think even the staunchest McTominay haters, yeah, if we were 1-0 down and it was like, oh, it's 1-1 and it was the 80th minute last season, that part of them was glad to see McTominay come on, because you go, well, he could score a goal. He could get a goal. We need a goal. And if the ball dropped to people in and around the box, you kind of hoped that it would drop to McTominay because he'd probably get it on target and he'd probably score. The issue is that outside of that, he can go for a whole game and you go, well, he doesn't really do anything. He's not that good on the ball. His passing's not that great. You know, we know defensively he doesn't really offer all that much, but he can get a goal. He can get a goal. So this one's still, I think, up for discussion. As for where will he go to Galatasaray, I don't. There's just, you know, when you just see a story, and maybe it depends, I guess, on like the sources. I suppose maybe my feeling would be different. My feeling would be different if it was, say, David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano or someone else. My feelings would maybe be a bit different. But sometimes you do kind of hear this sort of scuttlebutt sometimes from local journalists, and it can go either way. You can have in the sort of domestic journalists, in the case of the Leny Yoro deal, I forget his name, someone will let me know in the chat. The French journalist who was like, Leny Yoro's talking to Man United and it could really happen, and then it happens in a few days. That's when you go, trust the local journalists. And then sometimes, you know, you've got the situation like in Spain If it comes from Marsa or was it Dario AS, we go, that's probably bullshit. They can't trust that at all. So you never know with these kind of stories. So I guess it's one to watch out for, but definitely Man United are not going to sell him for 15 million euros to Galatasaray. I think you would have to get much higher than that, and he is, even if you don't like him, he is worth more. Manchester United should get more, should get themselves the right deal. Now, as time goes on, will they start to panic a little bit and will the price come down? That was sort of the suggestion here of the journalist, wasn't it? That possibly as time goes on, United could panic a bit and be like, well, we need to get in Ugarte, and we only can get in Ugarte if McTominay goes, and maybe we do take it down to 20 million or something like that. Maybe they do. Maybe that is what they do. But as of right now, I don't think that happens for 15 million euros. No chance. GJE's been a member for 40 months. Appreciate 40 months of support. Says, a bit worried about starting the season, especially with the Yoro injury. It looks like there's not much change once it begins. We need signings. Hope I'm wrong. Well, we certainly still do need signings. I still do think, as I mentioned, I think stuff will happen this week. Just evidence is in the Wan-Bissaka thing. I mentioned about the Lindelof stuff. Now that he's back training, like, it has the potential, doesn't it? It has the potential for, it's almost just waiting for one domino to fall. And once one domino falls, it feels like possibly like 3 deals could happen that quickly. In the case of this Wan-Bissaka one, the moment that that's agreed with West Ham, it's like, right, Mazraoui's done. The moment that Victor Lindelof is sorted in terms of an exit, if that does happen, then that De Ligt one happens, isn't it? Same with this McTominay one. The moment that there's like a green light of, yeah, he's going, that's done. So it does feel like stuff could happen very quickly. Or the problem, I suppose, is that this is the test, isn't it? This is the test, the real true test. You know, 'cause suppose you can be like, wow, it's impressive that how quickly we got those replacements in for Varane and Martial. Because it's no coincidence, is it, that the 2 players we signed were replacements for people that had already left. You know, so Rafael Varane leaves, Leny Yoro comes in, Anthony Martial leaves, Joshua Zirkzee comes in. The real test now is, can you move players on in order to replace them with supposedly better people? Can you do that? And that's been and by the way, just an extra little bit on top of that, the players you're trying to move on, we've done some quite bad deals in the past, so it's going to be that's going to be quite challenging too. With McTominay, of course, it's not necessarily a wage thing. He's not got a huge wage or anything like that, but he's an academy player, and it's pure profit. And if you can get yourself the best deal possible, then you can really invest all of that money in, and not just get one signing. Maybe you can get a couple. Maybe you can get a couple of signings as well. So, yes, we shall see. A lot of people are talking about the Leny Yoro stuff, which I can talk about right now, by the way. We've nearly got 1,000 people watching, which is fantastic. Let's see if we can get the likes that we're currently at. 265 likes. See if we can get that to 500 by the end of the show. By the way, also, too, yesterday we hit 173,000 subscribers. 70 new people joining in at the moment, which is great, which is fantastic. We only hit 170 like the other day, so it's great. Welcome to all the new viewers, new subscribers. I'm sure the existing members of the UV community will make you welcome, and there's always room for more, indeed. And if you haven't subscribed but you're a regular watcher, which there are people out there like that, I'm like that with some channels. You know, those channels that you watch quite often. They're always popping up in your suggested, you know, or you're scrolling through and you go, oh, I'll tell you what, I watched that, and then you realise I'm not subscribed. I watch it all the time. I'm just not committed. I'm not subscribed. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button. Just quickly before I go to Leny Yoro, Red Baron with the super chat says, watch Martinez put on a United shirt and get injured, being physically fighting fit for Argentina. Don't put that bad stuff out there into the universe. Don't. He's fine now. To be honest, he's had exactly what he needs by playing a lot over the summer. Didn't play hardly at all last season, so he needed to play all summer, didn't he? But yes, no, we're not putting that out there. Just a little bit, yes, on Leny Yoro. So there were pictures of Leny Yoro leaving training yesterday in a protective boot, which of course was expected. He's injured. As far as a definitive update, Chris Wheeler has said that Manchester United are expected to give an update on Leny Yoro's fitness later this week. And Samuel Lucas has said that Manchester United are concerned Leny Yoro could be sidelined for a prolonged period with a foot injury. Basically, nobody knows. Nobody knows. So with people putting out their numbers, I've seen every number you can possibly think of. People going 6 weeks, people saying 6 months, people saying 3 months, people saying 2 weeks. Nobody knows. Nobody knows of these things. Until there is a definitive update from Manchester United or a credible reporter is saying that definitively this is how long they're expected to be out, or definitively this is how long it's going to be, it is complete guesswork. Complete guesswork. And to be honest, that is nothing new. That's nothing new. I mean, look at some of the injuries we had last season. Pick one. No one ever knew how long they were going to be out for with it. Remember when Martinez did his knee and they were like, he's going to be out for 9 months. And it was like, well, that's probably more like 6 weeks. The positive thing would be if he had broke his ankle or anything like that, or if he was out for like 6 months, half a season or whatever, they would have put that out there already and said he's got to have surgery. This is how long it's going to be. This is the issue. The fact that it's been 3 days, 4 days, and we haven't heard anything is actually not maybe the worst thing in the world. A protective boot literally could mean anything. A protective boot could mean that he's out for 2 weeks. A protective boot could mean that he's out for like 3 months. You don't know. We don't know. So until we hear anything from the club, it's pointless. We're just working ourselves up into a frenzy, aren't we, with information that we don't know about, and the journalists don't know about at the moment. They don't. One thing's for certain, I think it does put a lot of pressure once again on the Matthijs de Ligt deal, because it's like, well, we need another defender, and it does go to show that if a major injury were to happen to a defender, we would be light. It doesn't, of course, help that Leach is not available, and even Lindelof's just coming back from injury, so we're already 2 centre-backs down at the moment. Now that Lindelof's back, it's 1 centre-back down. Well, technically 2 if you include Yoro and Martinez. But we need another centre-back, don't we? So as far as the prognosis, we don't know. We don't know. So I think that whenever stuff like this happens too, you do get a lot of like expert doctors come out, don't you? Of like, well, this would mean that minimum 4 months. 4 months. If that's what I think it is, it's definitely that young. we don't know. It was almost frustrating to an extent. There was a press conference last night, but Erik ten Hag wasn't speaking at it. It was only Ahmad that was talking at it, so no one got to ask Erik ten Hag what the status was for the injury. I'm sure he'll get asked before the game or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see how bad it is. I mean, clearly he's not going to play any more games on the tour. Clearly, I mean, the game against Man City is in 10 days' time. You'd probably say he's not going to be available for that. The beginning of the season, that's 16 days, 17 today. Is he going to be available for that one? Probably touch and go. But again, this is completely, I guess, up to you in terms of your perspective on life, isn't it? I suppose, isn't it? Some people view not knowing any or not hearing any news is good news. Some people view not hearing news is bad news. Some people see, on crutches on a protective boot being like, that's it, he's done. And other people view it as, well, actually, that might not be a bad thing. It's completely up in the air at the moment. Completely up in the air. So, we don't, basically the news is that no one has an update on anything like that. A bit of a little bit of a, I guess, carrying on from the that press conference yesterday. So as I mentioned, there was a press conference yesterday, pre-match presser for the game this evening against Real Betis at the Snapdragon, and no Erik ten Hag talking to the media, but Ahmad did, and Flex and KG managed to have a chat with the Manchester United winger. Flex asking about Ahmad's loan spouse, what he learned from that. KG asking a couple of questions about trading and also his celebration. Here's how it played out.
Hi, Ahmad.
Hi.
How have your loans helped you when you've left Manchester United to go to Rangers, and the season you had at Sunderland, playing all those games? How did that help you to come back, and what did you take from that into now, and why do you feel like you're ready now?
I think the loan in Sunderland was important for me to play every game, to play every 3 days, because it's the same level like in Premier League. So it was important for me to play every week, to get that maturity, that experience, to come back in Manchester already. And I think was very important for me to go in Sunderland. And I was very happy to be there, and I am very happy to be here now, and I want to fight for everything now.
Well, I've got 2 quick questions, Ahmed. One, I wanted to wonder what your celebration means. You know, when you cut the face covering with the eye. I wanted to know what that one means. And you've experienced different pre-seasons. How is this one different from the last one? What is Ten Hag making you guys work on?
Oh, my celebration don't mean nothing. Yeah, it don't mean nothing. And I think this pre-season, I see a lot of positive things. In the training, everyone is focused, and we got new stuff, Roy and the other one. But everyone is good manager. They put the energy in the training, and I see in the training everyone is focused to fight for the total this season.
How can you not like KG the comedian? How can you not? The energy, the laughter, it's infectious. And only KG could be like, celebration, what does it mean? Nothing, right? Oh, that was good. That was good stuff. And I'm glad KG got to ask a question, because he was going to ask one in the first press conference. If you watch the first press conference back, you can't really hear it on our version, but I think if you watch the Man United feed of it, he's just about to ask it, and they go to another question. There you go. He goes, and next question. Okay. So it was good. It was good. I'm glad KG got to ask the question in that presser. Good for him. And if you do want to go watch the whole press conference, it's on the channel, so be sure to check that out. As well as a bit of a Flex and KG show, talking about just everything that's going on at the moment, because it's actually quite interesting with them, of course, isn't it? Because they're out there and they're quite close to the team and the players and the journalists at the moment. You don't hear the sort of day-to-day update in terms of transfer stuff, do you, from them? You sort of just see them at the games, at the training sessions, and the player interviews and blah, blah, blah. But in terms of like the stuff going on in the media, you don't hear them as much. So it's always good to have a bit of an update from them about that. So if you haven't already, be sure to check that out. There also will be a match preview dropping later today for the game later on tonight at the Snapdragon. So be sure to check that out too. Right. Academy. This is very exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. We did get a here we go yesterday from Fabrizio Romano. Indeed, we did. We got a here we go. You can see it right there on the screen. Yes, finally, a here we go. I know you're going to go...
Hold on, wait a minute.
No, but it counts. It counts. It is a here we go. Because Fabrizio Romano is saying, exclusive, Chido Obi Martin to Manchester United. Here we go. Talented striker leaves Arsenal, and he's just accepted the Manchester United proposal. The pathway was key for Chido, who's turned down higher bids from Germany to sign for Manchester United. The project convinced the 2007-born top talent to accept Manchester United. Continues on by saying Ruud van Nistelrooy was key in getting the Chido Obi Martin deal done. He spoke to Obi Martin about his development plan at Manchester United. In addition to that, it's not the only academy player we signed last night. Romano reporting this morning, and it was first put out there by MUFC Youth on social media, actually, credit to them, saying that after Chido Obi Martin, Manchester United have also agreed a deal to sign Samuel Lasalle from Crystal Palace for the academy. The 16-year-old winger set for United move after he turned down a scholarship deal at Crystal Palace, as was previously reported. Now, obviously, look, I could come on here and this morning and wax lyrical and say I've watched them play every single game. I know everything about them, which would be a lie. I've seen probably just what you have, in that there's certainly with Obi Martin a very big reputation, or developing reputation, based on a really impressive period of time at Arsenal, particularly was scoring 10 goals in one game. And scoring goals for his country under 18 level, I think in like European qualifiers or something like that. His goal scoring record just in general was very, very good at Arsenal. And the bigger thing I look at this deal, and I think this is probably the most exciting thing about it, isn't necessarily the fact of, well, we got him from Arsenal. What the exciting thing is that we've actually been able to convince a young player with a big reputation, with seemingly a lot of potential, with a lot of clubs after him. We've been able to convince him that Manchester United is the right project. That Manchester United is, no, if you come here, we'll give you game time. We'll let you play, and that is, I think he would look at, like, for instance, a Kobbie Mainoo last season, be like, actually, he was like in pre-season, he was with the team. He came back in. Now look, seeing Man United, he's playing European Championship final. Look at that. He's looking at Alejandro Garnacho going, a couple of seasons ago, he was winning the Youth Cup for Manchester United. Now he's in Copa America squad with Messi. Not bad going, is it? And this season, hopefully, more players will come through, whether it's Collier, whether it's Harry Mas, whoever it may be. But there does seem to be this definitive path. And once again, the critical thing is, it's like we've got him with, like, oh, we just gave him a load of money. We gave him a load of money. That's how we convinced him. No, he turned down higher offers. That's the key thing. He turned down higher offers in Germany to join Manchester United. On top of that, Dharmesh Sheth, I think, reported yesterday that the move's not even about money. The move's not even about money for him. It's about where is the best place for him to succeed. Where is the best place for his pathway to play first-team football. And Manchester United have been able to convince him of that. Now, Romano has kind of gone a step further this morning, saying that Obi Martin will be considered the third striker currently at Manchester United, behind Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee. The idea is for him to have the academy, but also helpful for the first team when needed. That's what United have offered him. So, seemingly, they've said that, yeah, we've got two strikers at the moment, but you'll play for academy football, but we'll have you training with the first team. You might even be on the bench a couple of times. It might be really quick, actually, with, let's be honest, if Rasmus Højlund's injury is quite bad, which I don't think it's super bad or anything like that, but if it's a case where there is a striker injured or whatever, he might make the bench this season, or certainly will be training more with the first team. And that's all you need. I mean, we've just seen, and I'm not saying that Obi Martin obviously is Yamal. We've just seen Yamal win a European Championship with Spain. This idea that, he's very young, he can't be any good. Who knows? Who knows how good he is? So it's very exciting about that. I mean, again, for me, because I can't say much about the player, the exciting thing for me is that United have been able to convince a young player with a developing reputation, with a lot of clubs after him, to join Manchester United, not based upon, we'll give you a shit ton of money. They've been able to convince him to join Manchester United based on, we can show you the pathway into the first team. We can show you, and we'll believe in you, and we'll give you a chance. Because that is the thing that has made us miss out on certain young signings in the past. So of course, we've got such a rich history and past of bringing in academy players, and we always will. But maybe in recent years, and justifiably so, some young players have looked at United and given us a bit of a wide berth because they've gone, would that be the best place for me to develop? I might give that one a miss. Maybe I will go. You see a lot of young players go to Germany. I'll play every week there in the Bundesliga, or I'll go to the Netherlands because I'll play every week there in the Eredivisie, and it's just about playing. It's just about game time. So United being able to win that race, having someone like Ruud van Nistelrooy, who, by the way, I saw this report yesterday too, and it does make you wonder, doesn't it, with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Every single report is saying that the players love Ruud van Nistelrooy. He has got this aura about him, and he does. I mean, just when you see him walking around, interacting with people, sitting on the bench, he does have this aura about him. And it does make your mind wander. If you just go like, if things don't go well for Eric, the pressure immediately. People are going to be looking at Ruud, aren't they? Immediately, people will be looking at him, going, "Ruud's there." But people are really praising his training sessions and stuff like that. He just has this aura, and to be honest, that might be really important just for Erik ten Hag in general, of having that player on the backroom staff that immediately has that level of respect. But he does feel like, and maybe this is very soon to say it, just like could be the manager one day, couldn't he? Could be, but it's a very long way in the future, and hopefully Erik ten Hag, it's 10 years time after Erik ten Hag's won Premier League titles and won Champions League trophies, right? That's got to be the hope for that. But certainly he does have that kind of just aura, doesn't he? He does have that aura, and that of like, can I have Ruud van Nistelrooy? Big deal, big player. Yes. John says, stop making assumptions. Well, apologies, John. I'm just saying what I've been reading, yeah? Just saying what I've been reading of everyone saying about how happy they are to have no. You saw it with Ahmad. You saw Ahmad in that press conference. There's Ruud. The other guy. I was like, oh. It's Rene. Come on. We can't forget about Rene, can we? Can't forget about Rene.
Gotta give him that hawk turn.
We can't forget about him. Come on. Ruud, other one, is there. Yeah. But yes, very exciting about this Chido Obi Martin move, and we'll see what happens with his future at the club and how involved he's going to be this season. If he does get more involved, possibly as the season goes on. Anything is possible. We're less than 100 likes away, by the way, from 500. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we can get it to 500. It's the latest member of the UV Members Club is Mark. Welcome to you. Appreciate you joining the UV Members Club. If you wish to join Mark in the UV Members Club, you can do so. Links in the video description, or you can just click the join button. I can actually also confirm there is going to be quite a lot of members content that's coming very, very soon from tour. I know that they've been filming lots of stuff. I mean, basically, the way the process works whilst they're on tour is so much stuff gets filmed, and then some stuff can't fit in with everything that goes on. So some of it will go over to members only. So if you haven't already, you can join the members club and get involved in that. And also, to be fair, you can see the back catalogue of UV Raws, which how many episodes there are of that at the moment, but there are so many episodes of just behind the scenes going on, nonsense, videos that we could never put on the channel that are sometimes completely not related to football. So you get all of that, and also once the season begins, you have the ability to call into the full-time view, and you can call in, have your say with me every match day. The halftime with Vegeta, look at that, it's been a member for 25 months, over 2 years. Says, Owen, holding it down at UV. Would you go on tour? I'm sure you have fans overseas. You've got no fans? Maybe one day, you never know. With the tour, I get this all the time about the stuff on tour. The best way that I can describe it with that is one, the thing that makes I think United View so great is that legitimately we are a team. It is a complete team effort. It's not a massive team, but a complete team effort. And if you are on a team, everyone can't play up front, can they? You know what I mean? I know this best myself. Sometimes you've got to play in goal. And you need people that are out there. You need people that are here. You need people that are over there and doing that. And it's the sum of all the parts that come together that hopefully deliver you the content that you enjoy every single day. So that's my function here. My function is to knit things together, hold things together, because otherwise they drift away at the seam. So maybe one day, you never know, but then who would look after the Asylum? Who would look after the Asylum? The Asylum would go into disrepair. I'd have to sell it, the Asylum. And I've just Americanized it as well. If you watch the game on the weekend, I had fireworks. I had fireworks in there, going. maybe one day, but I'm more than happy being here with you guys. Yeah, that's the function. Like I said, it's the team effort. There are no egos. Team effort. It's the sum of all the parts, and that gets the outcome that you that hopefully you guys like as well. Indeed. And what else we got? Red Baron says, who would steer the ship without the captain? Well, definitely not the captain. Like I said, I'm in goal. I'm defending. I'm making reflex saves. I'm schmeichling it like that. Is what I'm doing. So yes, big up. But indeed, maybe one day. But like I said, I'd have to get rid of the asylum first. So I'm not sure about that one. Finally, a bit of an update on Rabiot. Now this is quite interesting too about Rabiot. I say interesting. I mean, I think this feels very forced. So I remember. Back in the day, get caught offside. I used to get all my transfer updates from caught offside. But they're pushing with that Manchester United are working to reach an agreement with Adrien Rabiot. United are leading the race to sign him, with talks heading in a positive direction and all parties now optimistic that an agreement can be struck soon. And Manchester United are working to negotiate even a contract worth around £130,000 to £45,000 a week plus a signing bonus. This feels to me like, I don't know what you guys think, but over the last 10 days, ever since it had been announced that Rabiot was leaving Juventus, it feels like his representatives, his people in the media are doing everything they can to get him a move to Manchester United, because so far we haven't really heard of anyone, I think, credible say that Rabiot's coming in. If anything, we've seen clubs distance themselves, and when they have distanced themselves, we've heard the sort of camp Rabiot suggests that, well, yeah, but we weren't interested in that club because we only want Man United. That's all we want. We all we want is that. Yeah, so I just don't really see that one really happening all that much. Look, it might happen towards the end of the window. Maybe as the window goes on and we can't get certain midfielders or what have you, then maybe something will happen, I guess. But this feels very much like Rabiot's like, right, I'm a free agent. I'm a free agent, and I need a club. I want to go to Man United. Let's keep putting out there that I'm really interested in Man United. Man United's the only club I want. I mean, I'm not really sure what the purpose would be of putting out there saying that we're close to agreeing a deal and we're confident the deal is going to happen, and even putting out the numbers of the contract. It's going to be 130, 145 is what it's going to be. Is it? Is that really what it's going to be? I'm not sure, indeed, how accurate that one is. So, yeah, I'm not sure that's... I can't rule out that Rabiot would end up being a Man United player. As I've said before, I'm not totally opposed to it, given the right conditions and the right circumstances. But to suggest that the deep talks, the contract's going to be 130, 145, it feels more like Rabiot's people laying out actually what they're looking for or their conditions, and also putting out there that actually we would come for not that much money, because remember 2 years ago it was with John Murto flying to Turin and having talks with Rabiot's agent, and allegedly the deal fell apart over money, even though Man United were seemingly going to offer him quite a bit of money. He wanted a huge amount. Suddenly 2 years later, oh no, I wouldn't want that amount of money actually. I would be very interested actually in that. So yeah, I just don't see it. If the conditions were right, then I think maybe United might consider it, but they've got their hands full at the moment. They're talking with West Ham about Wan-Bissaka. They're talking to Bayern Munich and the same agent about Mazraoui and Ligt. They're still looking to get Ugarte too. So yeah, I think there's lots of other focuses, I think, that aren't Adrien Rabiot. So, yes, there you go. That's the latest when it comes to him, and that's the latest when it comes to Manchester United. We're 25 likes away from getting to 500 likes, so let's see if we can get to 500 before we wrap things up here. A reminder for what's to come. As I said, you can see it there. I'll be live this evening, 1 a.m. Kickoff's going to be at 3. Late night settings, Manchester United versus Real Betis. At the Snapdragon Stadium, Manchester United looking for their first victory, of course, on the pre-season tour. Not their first win of pre-season altogether. They did defeat Rangers, but they're looking for their first victory on the pre-season tour after the loss against Arsenal. Although, I don't know if you saw the road trip with Flex and KG yesterday where they were driving in California. KG's holding on to the fact of, I mean, technically it was kind of a draw. He's looking at it going, well, Arsenal beat us in regular time, but we did win on penalties, you know. So, you know, we did win on penalties actually. So, kind of equal, really. Kind of equal on that one. It's a bit basically a draw. Or, you know, if you sort of, the last kick of the game was the winner for you, basically won actually, didn't we? So it depends how you look at it. And also that's the point, isn't it? We had penalties at the end of the game for no reason because it's a pre-season game that doesn't mean anything. It's just completely, you know, is. UK Bacon says, why 2 hours before? Because it's what we always do here at United View. That made me laugh as well when we did the game on Saturday. And to be fair, I guarantee you this is what it will be later on tonight as well. And we get it every match day. We always go live 2 hours before, and every single time you get the comments that come in and go, why are you live 2 hours before? You realise kickoffs, you've got kickoff time wrong. Kickoff's not for 2 hours. We always do that. We always do go live 2 hours before. We've been doing it for like 6 months or something like that, possibly now. And we chat about everything beforehand. Obviously, you get team news, you get stories that are coming out from the camp, you get transfer news, you get interviews, you get previews, you get it all. So big up to everyone, and I'm out of here. Peace!